Hi, I'm Mark Bittman, and I'm here in New York on behalf of Signature Kitchen Suite. I'm here to talk about the role of the local butcher in farming, in the environment, animal welfare, even public health. And to do that, I'm going to go to Fleischer's and chat with Sam Garwin. As we pay more attention to our food, where it comes from, how it's produced, what it is, it becomes increasingly important for us to know our suppliers. Who better to start with than your local butcher? We all eat meat, and we all want to eat increasingly good meat. The product is becoming the most important part of what we put in our mouths. I'm here today talking with Sam Garwin, Fleischer's Butcher on the Upper East Side in New York. Hi, Sam.
Oh, hi, Mark.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us here.
It's great to be here. So, why are we here? How'd you get into this?
Well, I came to butchery after a personal crisis of meat eating. So I stopped eating meat for a period of time because I learned about how most meat in America is raised, and I didn't want to participate in that. But I'm also a very practical person, and I wanted to be able to participate in, say, my family's Passover meal. And so I thought maybe there's a way to eat meat and feel good about it. So I did everything I could to learn more, and ended up really loving it. I could be hands-on and be contributing to what I consider to be a massive movement and shift in the way people buy and eat food. And we do have customers that are vegetarian and vegan, which is shocking, but they know that if they have friends and family who are going to eat meat, they might as well get the best possible meat that they can.
Start with the source, right? Where does good meat come from these days?
All of our meat comes from farms in the Northeast. The animals are raised outdoors on pasture their entire lives. They're never given antibiotics, they're never given hormones. And at the end of the day, this just means that the animal has a really high quality of life where it's getting exercise, it's able to express its natural behaviors, and luckily that translates into amazing flavor.
As people become more sophisticated, they start to recognize that the differences are really important and a joy. I can tell that this beef was raised where there was lavender in the pasture or rosemary, or you start to recognize all these complexities, all these differences, and you start celebrating them. I mean, a lot of what we're talking about, this care for the animal, is about respect. I'm sure that you have people who come in and say, what's good today? What would you recommend that I have?
Our job as your local butcher is more of a concierge experience in a local butcher shop. We think of ourselves as being in the hospitality industry as much as the food industry. If you're just looking for a transactional purchase of meat, that's not what a butcher shop is about. A butcher shop is about the experience of learning about what cuts are the best and where the meat is from. There will be some back and forth. There should be a lot of questions. You shouldn't plan on being just in and out. Evaluate your options, talk to the butcher about what's good today, and then make a decision based on what you have going on. It's really an end-to-end experience.
Let's talk about some cuts, some things that are popular, some things you wish were more popular.
So skirt steak is definitely a really popular item. People love it because of the flavor, and they love it because it does have a little bit of chew. So when people come in looking for skirt steak and we're out, we often recommend a bavette. It's a little bit thicker actually, which is nice because you can still cook it to medium rare. I don't know about you, but I always overcook my skirt steaks. And
I don't, but hey, you've done more butchering, I might have done more cooking.
Okay, fair.
I have to think that some big percentage of people come in and say, ribeye, please.
Yes, sir.
Why is it so great?
That's because it's one of the few bone-in cuts that are available. The other really nice thing about a ribeye is that you can dry age it, which we do here at Fleischer's. So at the end of the day, you're left with a steak which is bone-in, beautiful, flavorful. What's not to love?
I'm sure you give a lot of advice about this. Let's take ribeye, for example. What do you tell people to do?
So the biggest thing to do is not overcook it. We usually recommend searing it in a pan, moving it to the oven if you need to finish it for a little bit longer. But it is a scary cut, and a lot of people do have concerns that they're gonna mess it up. I mean, I wonder what you would tell people.
I mean, I've told people over the years, way too much, but both grilling and stovetop oven involve a lot of guesswork. So what a lot of people have turned to, which I think is a really cool idea, is using sous vide. You take the meat, you put it in a closed plastic bag, maybe with some spices, and you put it in a water bath. And you set the water bath at, say, 129, which is pretty much medium rare. And you put the plastic bag with the meat in it in the water, you walk away, you go do whatever it is you want to do. At that point, the meat is medium rare from top to bottom, inside out. Every part of it is medium rare. All that remains is to put a crust on the meat. You don't want the outside medium rare, you want the outside crisp. So now you go back to 30, 60 seconds in a pan or under the broiler or on the grill. And you know, what I like about this is that we've talked a lot about respecting the animal and respecting the meat and so on. It's this process that lets you take this really special piece of meat and respect it right to the plate, you know, right to the end, and get it right. So Sam, this was really interesting. I wanted to thank you for letting us come in here, see all this amazing stuff, the great lessons, hearing all about really beef start to finish. It's really been fun.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you here.